What's good, family? What's good? It's your boy, Urban Sports Guru. I'm going to give you my picks for week 15. Let me give it to y'all right now. Starting off today, this afternoon, we got the Bills at the Broncos. I like Buffalo. Buffalo is quiet as kept. I don't think it's quiet as kept anymore, but one of the best teams in football. They're in my top five. They can run, they can pass, very well coached. They beat Pittsburgh, as I told y'all they would. And Josh Allen is ascending. You know, I seen someone made the comparison. Someone made the comparison. Josh Allen is looking like Carson Wentz did a few years ago. It's pretty accurate. It's pretty, yeah, because he's the biggest reason as to why they're doing what they're doing, and they are a big threat to the Kansas City Chiefs. They're gonna have to prove that in getting a tough win in Denver on a short week, because Denver's defensively they're gonna be game. And Drew Lock had a good game last week. I want to see him replicate that. I want to see him replicate it. So all the gamblers out there, I don't think they'll cover, but I think Buffalo's winning. The game that I do like today, as far as gambling is concerned, is Panthers at Broncos. No, Panthers at Packers. Now the Panthers came into Lambeau, I believe, last year and played very well. That was last year's A-Rod, not this year's A-Rod. This year's A-Rod got. This year's A-Rod ain't nothing to fuck with. Leave that man alone. That's a bad man. And he's on his way to the MVP. Taking the Packers. We got the Bucks at the Falcons. Now the Bucks right now are able to get their shit right against bad teams. Against teams that are noticeably flawed. Like last week against Minnesota, who defensively is flawed this year. They lost a lot of players. And however, I was really surprised how well they was able to run the football. Those first couple of drives, they pounded it right down their throat. I understand the big Samoan Vita hasn't been there, but damn, this is Tampa's deal. One thing you can guarantee with Tampa is that you're not going to run the football. And guess what? Teams are starting to run on them. They're looking vulnerable there. And we already know they're vulnerable against the pass. That young secondary that was looking good early in the season, now teams know, go deep. Go deep. Carlton Davis, beginning of the year, was looking like a Pro Bowler. Not now. Not now. Go deep. So, but the Falcons are just in such disarray. Raheem Morris got them playing well. They're not as good as the sum of their parts. Their whole is not as good as some of their parts. And the Bucks, they get to get their shit right against really not a good football team. So they'll beat the Falcons. Division game. They need this right now. Now we have a game that in the 90s and early 2000s, in the 90s, was it. 49ers at the Cowboys. This is a game that every year you just looked forward to. Whether regular season, playoffs, you just looked forward to it. Of course, none of these teams are that anymore. I like the 49ers because I love their base. I love their coaching. I love the base of what the team is rooted in. I love their coaching. They have an identity. Cowboys do not. And one thing I have to say, I understand they've lost all their offensive linemen, but the argument in the beginning of the season, who was better between Zeke and Saquon Barkley. And I never disliked Zeke. And guys that know me, I never wanted to see him become a Cowboy because I knew him behind that offensive line was going to be trouble. And it has been. I thought he would have had a 2,000-yard season by now. But it's amazing how much an offensive line with 3 All-Pros, 4 Pro Bowlers, I think 4 first-round picks, how well he looked behind that. Now he has to run behind a shitty offensive line and backups and all of that. He don't look that good no more. I bring this up because you compared it to Saquon. Look at the line Saquon had to run behind. You give Saquon the kind of lines that Zeke had. Let's see who leads the league in rushing then. Just saying. Taking the 49ers. We got the Lions At the Titans, Lions finally did the right thing. They fired everybody. Titans, Derrick Henry. Once again, this man is leading the league in business decisions. Derrick Henry. Lions not going to be able to stop the run game, especially on the road. This game could get ugly. I think it's going to get ugly early, real early. Because it's a war of attrition. Because even if you stack the line early, Titans is a team that drafted very well on the offensive line. This is why, even though they lost Taylor Lewan, their offensive line is still so good. And it just continues to just give him the ball. Give him the ball. Like, guys be hyped. You know, they geeked up to tackle him in the first quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. No, they don't want that. They don't want that smoke. They don't want it. That's a big motherfucker coming at you 4.4 speed. They don't want that smoke. Fourth quarter. So I think they'll keep it interesting in the first half, but second half, I think this game's gonna get ugly. I like the Colts. What I think is going to be a good game is Texans at. I like the Titans. What's going to be a good game is Texans at the Texans at the Colts. Forgive me. Texans at the Colts. I think that's going to be a very good game. Deshaun Watson's going to come to play. The question is, will his team come to play? They could have won that game a couple of weeks ago if just this. They need to build that team around Deshaun Watson. Who they should go after is Eric Bieniemy. Now, they're interviewing Louis Riddick. I think that would be a great look. Because Louis Riddick, I love his football mind. And he's going to love to go to a team where the quarterback position is taken care of. He's going to love that. As far as this game, the Colts are going to need to show everybody how serious they are. Because as great as Deshaun Watson is, this is not a good football team. So if the Colts are taking care of business, they should win this game. Handily. Not struggling. Handily. I'm taking the Colts. Next game, we got the Pats against the Dolphins. Bill Belichick has about 10 days of preparation because they played last Thursday and got smoked. Bill Belichick is undefeated against rookie quarterbacks, so he's basically coming off a bye week, playing a division rival, so that familiarity, and he's playing a rookie quarterback. I love Tua. I don't care what those odds makers say. I'm taking the Patriots. I'm taking the Patriots all day. Now we got the Bears at the Vikings. Bears at Vikings, two bad teams. The Bears is funny how good their defense looked again when they got to play with a lead. When they get to play with a lead, when the offense is actually doing something, how good they look when they got to play with a lead. Now they play division rival. Both teams are 6-7, trying to keep up their slim playoff hopes, and I actually like Chicago because Minnesota, they can run the football. They force feed Dalvin Cook and everything will look good, but their defense is really not that good. They lost so many guys. So many plays they lost defensively. I think the Bears, I like the Bears for the upset. Next we have the Seahawks versus Washington. I originally was going to take Washington, but Alex Smith is injured and he's not playing. So the young kid is going to start at quarterback. Seattle's defense has been playing much better as of late. And one thing they have been doing without question is getting after the quarterback. I don't like that. I don't like that combination. This young quarterback, they're getting after the quarterback. I think Jamal Adams is going to be in his face early and often. And I do think Washington's defense, I told you about them. Washington's defensively, they're going to give Russell Wilson some problems. The problem is they can't really cover on the back end. So expect a big play or two from DK Metcalf. Russell Wilson may be running for his life. He may take a sack or two, but I expect a big play from DK Metcalf. I don't think they'll blow him away. unless young kid, forgive me, I'm losing his name right now. Young kid makes some turnovers, but Dwayne Haskins, if he turns the ball over, which very well may happen, that could make the game get ugly. But other than that, I think it will be a close game. I think that the Washington defense will stand up, but Russ will make enough plays. Seattle plays different on the road than they play at home. Even now, with there's no crowd, offensively they play different, and they make some real stupid play calls on the road for some reason. That offensive coordinator, this play calling on the road is real suspect to me. To me. Then we got Jags and the Ravens. Ravens look like they're getting their swagger back. They're going back to what they do best, run the football. Stop acting Lamar Jackson and try to be something that he's not. And probably never ever will be. But an offensive line is playing better. That's what's helping them being able to do this. They get to play have a home game against a bad team. Get their mojo up going into the playoffs. I like the Ravens. Now we got the Jets at the Rams. The chance the Jets have, I don't think the Jets have a chance to winning this game. Because the one thing the Rams want to do is run the football. One thing the Jets do when they're actually playing is defending the run. I believe they're in the top 10 run defenses. But spread of 17, do what you want. They don't have a chance of winning this game. Jets shouldn't be winless. They should have had that one win against Oakland. But we know what happened there. Nonetheless, everybody there got to go. Everybody got to go. Taking the Rams. We have the Chiefs at the Saints. And Drew Brees is going to start. And I agree with the move because they're fighting to get the number one seed in the NFC, and the Packers are going to beat the Panthers. Nothing to talk about. You can talk about the spread or whatever, but Packers are going to beat the Panthers. The Chiefs. The thing about the Chiefs for me, you have to be able to run the football. You got to be able to run the football because when you're running the football, you're keeping Patrick Mahomes on the sidelines. That's the formula to me. We look at the games they've had that are tough. It's teams that are able to run the football. Raiders in both games. Raiders was pounding it right down their throat. That's how you win. That's how you make it a real fight with them. I think they do a good job of protecting Drew Brees because they have a good offensive line, and Drew Brees gets rid of the football pretty quickly. However, I want to see how the Saints cover on the back end against the receivers for KC. I want to see how they do that. Patrick Mahomes, one thing, he never has a bad game. Even when he throws a few picks, he still throws for nearly 400 yards. He never has a bad game. Him going into the Superdome, it's a tough place to play. Fans are not. I'm still taking the Chiefs for the win. I'm rolling with Patrick Mahomes. End of story. You got the Eagles at the Cardinals. I'm taking the Cardinals because I just don't think the Eagles can score enough. Jalen Hurts played an excellent game. I give him all the credit in the world. I think he played against a Saint team that took him lightly. That's just my opinion. Because none of that shit should have happened. None of that. But, however, it does show once again that, and I told y'all this about a year or two ago when I went out to Philly and I was there asking the people, they wanted Nick Foles. And then the stories would come out how some of the teammates wanted Nick Foles. Like, talent-wise is not a conversation. Carson Wentz is more talented, but something's missing. There's something in his personal life. There's something missing because he's far too talented to consistently be this bad. And Jalen Hurts winning makes him look really bad. It's a personal thing with him. Now we got the Browns against my Giants. Colt McCoy is going to start because Daniel Jones is hurt again. I like Daniel Jones, but I have to say this. I said this last year, I'm about to say it again. We just came from a franchise quarterback, possible future Hall of Famer, who started over 200 games in a row, 220 something, I don't remember the exact number, was always there. And this is the second year in a row where Daniel Jones is missing games due to injury. Let that sink in. I'm just saying. Best ability, availability. Let that sink in. However, I don't think the Giants even have enough firepower to keep up with the Browns, and the Browns are going to continue to run the football. The offensive line is playing great. If Baker is going to keep playing at this level, this is a team. Even though that's my squad, this is a team that they got to come in and take care of business. They got to come in. They got to take care of business. They got to establish themselves early. Take care of business and win this game by about 10 points, at least. Steelers at Bengals. Steelers offensively have to change up. They have to start running the football. But they playing the Bengals. Bengals can't hit. Bengals got a hard time moving the football. And Steelers still have a great defense. Taking the Steelers. Nothing to talk about. Those are my picks. Hit the like. Hit the subscribe. See me in the comments. Your boy or Sports Guru. I'm out. Salute.